Okay, so today we are going to read the story called The T-Shirts. Before we start reading, I want you to think about for a second when it's fun to run around and make a lot of noise. So maybe that's you out on the playground, running around with your friends, playing tag or hide and seek, being nice and silly. And when is it nice to be calm and quiet and to have the people around you be calm and quiet? So maybe this is when you're taking a test or when you're doing homework, when you really need to concentrate. Maybe when you're trying to read a story, something along those lines, when you want the people around you to be quiet because you're trying to focus. And I want you to think, has there ever been a time when you wanted it to be calm, but there were people around you that were being really active or noisy? And what was that like? I can give you an example from my life. I remember when I was young trying to do homework and really trying to concentrate on this math assignment that I had that was really difficult for me. And my sister was being loud and noisy running around the house, screaming and making weird noises. And I remember that feeling I was very frustrated and kind of annoyed, and it made me a little bit irritated. So I want you to think about, and you can pause this real quick. Maybe think about it in your head, say it out loud to someone next to you. A time when maybe you wanted it to be calm, but there was somebody around you who wasn't. What was that like? So it's okay to do things differently, but it's important to make sure that what you're doing works for everybody around you. So sometimes you might have to compromise. And compromising means coming to an agreement or understanding understanding what works for everybody. So you might have to change up what you're doing a little bit to benefit somebody else in your group. That way, everyone can feel respected and happy being together and doing whatever you're doing as a group together. So, in this story, we have a group of friends who are working together on a project, and they like to do things differently. So, as you listen to the story, I want you guys to pay attention to how one child is affected by how his friends behave and what they do to compromise and make the situation work for everybody who's involved. Kayla hurried through the park as fast as she could, trying not to spill the bucket of water in her wagon. "Can I carry something?" asked a friendly voice. It was Gabriel. "Thanks," answered Kayla as she handed a bag to her friend. "Whoa, what's in here?" asked Gabriel, slinging the heavy bag over his shoulder. "That's all the paint that was left over after my brother's baseball team decorated shirts," Kayla explained. "Did you bring an old t-shirt to paint?" Gabriel nodded. "Yep, this is going to be so much fun." Jordan was already waiting at the treehouse when the kids arrived. "Check this out," he said, holding up a big white t-shirt. "My dad's old t-shirt comes down to my knees." "Good thing we have a lot of paint," laughed Gabriel. He dumped the bag upside down, spilling out neon fabric paints, brushes, and spray bottles. Jordan picked up a bottle of green paint and read the label. Directions: mix 4 capsules of paint into a 16-ounce bottle of water. "Oh, I've done this before," laughed Kayla. She had already filled a spray bottle with water and was about to squirt in some turquoise paint. She didn't usually worry about details like measuring. "I really think we should measure that," said Jordan. Kayla noticed that Jordan looked a little worried. She knew that he did a lot of baking with his sister and that he was always very careful about following recipes. "Okay, measuring works too," she said, smiling and handing him the paint. "Would you do that part?" So I love here how Kayla kind of notices how what she said about measuring affected Jordan and how Jordan seemed a little bit worried And she remembered and realized that he really enjoys baking with his sister and that he's always very, very careful about following the recipes and measuring. So maybe it would be better and would make Jordan feel better if he was the one that did the measuring. And so I love how she says, "You can do that part. Like, would you do that? Is that okay?" She's trying to make sure that he feels okay and happy in the situation. So she's really looking out for him. I like that a lot. After all the paints and water had been measured and mixed, the kids spread their t-shirt onto the grass. Gabriel picked up a bottle and sprayed bright orange paint across his shirt. "Wow, it looks like fireworks exploding!" he exclaimed. "Boom, bang, pop!" Jordan squeezed a tube of magenta paint onto his shirt, going slowly and carefully so that he could make a perfect spiral design. Next to him, Gabriel held a bottle in each hand and shouted loudly as he sprayed the different colors. Crackle, pop, bang, boom! Jordan frowned at the noise and tried harder to concentrate on his spiral. "Watch out for the purple monster!" Kayla suddenly hollered, waving her arms in the air. Her hands were dripping with shiny purple paint. "Oh no, the purple monster!" Gabriel shrieked. "Don't get your purple slime on me!" Jordan sighed and slid his shirt farther away from his friends, trying not to smear his design. It seems to me, at this part in the story, that maybe Jordan is a little bit distracted by his friends making all of this noise and running around. "You can't stop the purple monster!" shouted Kayla as she chased Gabriel around the tree. Then she chased him around Jordan. Jordan stopped painting and crossed his arms. As Kayla stopped to catch her breath, she noticed Jordan sitting quietly by himself. "Did you finish your t-shirt?" she asked. "I wanted to put some more swirls on the bottom," Jordan answered, "but this isn't working for me. It's really loud and I'm afraid that someone is going to step on my shirt." "We were just having fun," said Gabriel. Then he looked at Jordan's unfinished shirt. "But I guess that's not fair if it made things hard for you. We should have been more considerate." I love how they're able to realize and express that they were just having fun, but they should have thought about his feelings too. "We could compromise and play on the other side of the tree so we don't bother you," Kayla suggested. "That works for me," agreed her friends. So real quick, think to yourself, what was the compromise that they decided on to make sure that everybody was able to have a good time during this? Very good. So they made the compromise that they would be a little bit more quiet and they would play on the other side of the tree so that they wouldn't bother Jordan so he could finish his shirt. While Jordan added more swirls to his shirt, Gabriel and Kayla played more quietly on the other side of the tree. After a while, they suddenly heard a noise from behind them. It was Jordan! He had finished his shirt and his hands were covered in slimy green paint. "Who thinks they can outrun the Green Goblin?" he shouted. The kids screamed and laughed as they ran from the monster. So do you guys think that this compromise was beneficial for both Jordan and his friends? Yeah, I agree. I think it was really good for them to make that compromise. Kayla and Gabriel were able to play and still have fun, while Gabriel was, or Jordan, yeah, I'm sorry, while Jordan was able to finish his shirt in the atmosphere that he needed to concentrate. And that was a quiet, for him, that was a quiet um, place where there were not many distractions. So they were able to really think about how Jordan was feeling and make a really good compromise. And then at the end, they were all able to play together. So that was really, really, really great.